Hi, I'm Kiele JAEL. I'm a nutritional wellness chef and a sensuality coach for women. I'd like to discuss finding pleasure in food prep. I often hear that this is one of the things that people hate the most in your cooking experience, that they really don't enjoy it, that it doesn't motivate them to cook, and so therefore it affects their health. I'd love to talk today about changing that hatred around and shifting your mindset on food prep to actually love it. I've always liked to cook, and one of the reasons why I decided to get a certification as a chef was to make it more enjoyable and easy. And so today I'd like to share my biggest takeaways while infusing some tips and tricks to make it more pleasurable and fun. The first thing is make sure you have a dedicated space for food prep. Think of this like your office or your meditation space. It should be clear of clutter. You should feel good standing here and working here. And make sure that you have things around you that you like, and consider all the little details, because cooking is a very sensual experience, and so you want it to be positive. So what's in your view? Do you have plants around you? Do you have a nice view? Do you have little items around you that bring you joy or make you feel less stressed? Little things like that can really help make or break the experience. And then also making sure that your cutting board and food prep area is free and clear of clutter, and you are prepared with all the accessories that you need. I always have my 6 accessories with me, so that's my cutting board, my knife, my pastry scraper, 2 hand towels, one right by my cutting board and another one on my body, my apron, and a set of nesting bowls. And having these 6 accessories here really make for a great experience when you're prepping to cook. I love having these Duralex nesting bowls handy, especially because they come in different sizes. So depending on what I'm prepping, it makes it much easier to lay everything out in front of me and be way more organized and clean. It's important to keep your cutting board as clean as possible, which is why I like having my dampened kitchen towel right next to me to wipe away any liquid or any bits that are on there, as well as have my pastry scraper handy as well. So then that way I can clean it off and pick up any last scoops of food as well. While I prep food, I like having one bowl dedicated to food scraps. So then that way this can go in your compost bin or it can go directly in the trash. It's a nice way to keep organized and clean. Lead with flow and focus in. You won't need a time limit if you're focusing on food and not the clock. The food will taste a lot better if you don't get too stressed about what time it is and if someone's hungry. A lot of times it's better to not pay attention to the time. I would recommend not putting a time limit on it where you say, oh, I'm gonna make this and I only have 45 minutes to cook. That's really not a good practice, because you're not focusing on the food and your nourishment, you're focusing on rushing. So try not to rush. Don't put a time limit on your cooking. More so, just focus on flow and enjoy the experience. It's good to assess what foods you're making and what needs what specific cooking methods. So figure out what foods are going to take the longest to make and what's going to take the shortest. For the foods that are going to take the longest amount of time and need longer cooking methods, such as starting a pot of boiling salted water and boiling something, or preheating your oven because you're going to take about 30 minutes to an hour to roast something, do that ahead of time. Sometimes I tend to just do those 2 things without even knowing what I'm doing, because that puts me in the mindset of cooking. And it gives me permission to get more creative with food. So even if I had no idea what I was making and I already had the oven pre-roasted and I had something like a butternut squash, I'll be more likely to roast it and use that cooking method versus any other cooking method because I already have it preheating. So assessing what you're making and preparing for it ahead of time is really, really helpful, and it'll sometimes give you permission to be more creative with food. I would say follow your senses. So think about what's in your vision. Do you have things in front of you that you love to look at? What you hear, be aware of that. Is it something sizzling on the stove? Is it kids' laughter? Is it nice music you put on in the background? What you taste, and make sure you taste often. Always have a tasting spoon as you cook. I highly encourage it. So then that way you taste and season as you go, and it makes for a much more fun experience. This is a perfect opportunity to smell your food as much as possible. If you smell and taste your food as you cook, your intuition will naturally tell you what goes together and what won't. Make sure you're feeling your food, even the roughness of the vegetable or the smooth and squishiness of this tomato. Take the time to feel your food and receive that energy it's giving you through your body before you receive it in your body. The last thing is have great intentions when you cook. Rid yourself of stress, anxiety, and fill yourself with pleasure and ease and enjoyment. The food we eat has an immediate effect on our energy and demeanor. And if we prep food and eat and serve food with feelings of guilt and shame and stress and rushing, it's going to hinder our ability to digest well, and it's going to make it a really terrible experience. We don't pay enough attention to how our feelings affect our health. The feelings we bring to food prep are directly responsible for how we take care of ourselves. Pay attention and work to create an environment that actually gives you pleasure and enjoyment. And if possible, work to become passionate about preparing food and meals in your kitchen, because that works hand in hand with your nutrition and your health. Thank you for watching, and I hope that this video has helped you learn to enjoy food prep just a little bit more. If it has, click like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Take care, be well. Mwah.